Greetings to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television. Thank you for being with us on this other edition of the news. Our major stories this evening. The countdown is almost over. In less than 24 hours, Pope Leo XIV will be in Cameroon. The Holy Father is concluding already with his trip in Algeria, after which he will take off directly for Cameroon. Cameroon will be the first black African country which the Pope is visiting after being elected. And is Cameroon ready enough, especially spiritually and infrastructural-wise, to welcome the head of the Vatican? You will have the answer in this news edition. And also, inhabitants of Barombikang, a village just before Kumba, today blocked circulation for several hours. They say they have been without constant electricity supply for over 5 years now. Viewers, those are our lead stories. Stay with us for details and more in just a moment. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for always being with us. Thank you for your usual confidence. We told you the countdown is almost over. In less than 24 hours, Pope Leo XIV will be in Cameroon. And the spiritual significance of the Pope's presence in the country is primordial and shouldn't be overlooked in the effervescence of the moment. The focus of each Christian should be on tapping the best from the presence of His Holiness. A call from Reverend Father Michael TCHOUMBOU of the Archdiocese of Douala. From me, Armstrong Sanda report.
The effervescence in the build-up and upon the arrival of the Pope should not divert attention from the spiritual significance of the Pope in Cameroon, which is prime. This is a call from Reverend Father Michael TCHOUMBOU of the Douala Archdiocese.
Our gaze must be turned on what it means spiritually to us, that the Vicar of Christ is in Cameroon, that the entire Catholic Church is focused on the church in Cameroon, because the 3 days that the Pope will be here, the heart of the Catholic Church will beat in Cameroon. The more than 1.4 billion Catholics of the world will focus their attention to Cameroon, because the Pope represents an institution. We are honoring the person who embodies Christ among us in a visible way, because that's how Christ wanted it from the beginning.
Beyond the focus of the global church, the priest dwells and highlights the spiritual benefits of individual Christians.
Absolutely. You know, in Paul's letter to the Romans, it tells the Romans that I've always wanted to be with you, to share some spiritual message with you so that your faith might be strengthened. The presence of a spiritual leader like the Pope in our midst is of great spiritual significance in that it strengthens the faith. It encourages us in what we're already doing to serve God in Cameroon. That's what that encouragement means, that it reassures us that we are not on the wrong path.
He says when apostles visited communities, they did so to support and bless them. Hence, Cameroon's benefits from the Pope's presence goes far beyond imagination. He reminds that the Catholic Church is the mother of Western civilization, hence the Pope in Cameroon also means development.
And now let's talk about the papal garments or vestments. The Pope's attire is more than just a fashion statement. It is a reflection of his message and role as a spiritual leader of the Roman Catholic Church across the world. And once again, Reverend Father Michael TCHOUMBOU spoke with a reporter, Immaculate Fogwe, who explains the significance of some unique papal vestments in this report.
Beyond the message and the Pope's presence in Cameroon, the papal garment speaks volumes. During his apostolic visit, the papal attire plays a significant role in reflecting the content of his message.
He comes with the papal mitre in his, on his head, and his crozier in the hand. On it is a crucifix. He's coming, as Paul tells those to whom he's writing. He says, I come to you to preach nothing but Christ crucified. The Pope is not coming to preach himself. What he has in his hands is Christ crucified, that he brings to the world. And he has his mitre, which is a symbol of his governance authority. He has his the ring, the fisherman's ring on his finger, which is a symbol of the authenticity of the message that he carries, because he represents St. Peter on earth.
Father Michael TCHOUMBOU explains that each papal vestment has a unique significance. The red leather shoes, for instance, symbolizes the Pope's readiness for martyrdom and connection to Christ's passion.
The shoes represents, when you look at the shoes of the Pope, they are quite simple. They are no form of pointinini. They are simple shoes, conveying the simplicity with which he goes around. The message that he carries is so urgent that he's ready to walk long distance to do it. And the color, red, to what extent he's ready to go. He's up to the point of shedding his blood. He's ready to walk with the gospel to the last end of the earth, irrespective of the cost.
The altar where Mass is celebrated by the Pope also features unique items.
On the altar, when he's celebrating Mass, what you see from afar is a chasuble. The chasuble is a presider garment, saying he's the one presiding the ceremony. And underneath you have the stole, which symbolizes the ordained power that he has to carry out the sacred sacrifice of the Mass. And then underneath you have the harp, which is the garment of service. Underneath the harp you have the cassock, the one I have now, which is the casual dress of a priest. A priest should be in his cassock. So it boils down to being himself the message that he conveys.
From his white cassock to the pallium, fisherman's ring, museta, sujetto, pectoral cross and pastoral staff, each item signifies papal authority and spiritual leadership of the Catholic Church.
And Christians are prepared spiritually to welcome the Holy Father to Cameroon. At the St. Peter and Paul Cathedral, we got information that a special prayer session has been organized to that effect, as Innocent Azet tells us in the report which comes up next.
Priests, religious men and women from various parishes across the Douala Archdiocese have conversed at the St. Peter and Paul Cathedral for the opening of the Triduum prayers ahead of the arrival of Pope Leo XIV in Cameroon this Wednesday, April 15th, and in Douala on April 17th. Beyond spiritual fortification, the faithful are also praying for a safe journey for the Holy Father and for his visits to bear lasting fruits in the lives of Christians as he comes to proclaim the gospel and inspire transformation among Cameroonians, as underscored by Archbishop Samuel Kleda. According to His Grace Samuel Kleda, the papal visit is a double blessing as it coincides with the Easter season when Christians celebrate the triumph of Jesus Christ over death.
With the coming of the Holy Father here, precisely at the Easter moment, we have what we call double. Those are double graces we have to receive from God, because it's the representative of Christ himself coming to visit us, coming to look for us, look for those who are weeping, look for the wounds that have not been cured to heal them. Christians should welcome this visit with hope and faith, knowing that nothing is impossible to God, knowing that everything you do, you should put God in front of.
The strong mobilization of religious leaders at the start of the Triduum reflects a deep commitment to spiritual preparation for this historic visit.
Anything without prayer is dead. Prayer is the fire that prepares the way. Prayer is the union between man and God, heaven and earth. And when they say the prayer is the key, it is really the key. If you see the church organizing, it's because the forces of darkness too are distracting us. They want this matter to fail. I want to tell them that they have already failed, because nothing can fight God.
This symbolic moment is expected to mark a turning point in the spiritual lives of Christians, encouraging them to remain steadfast on the path of righteousness.
It is to draw an awareness that something wonderful is happening. And then the evangelization, so it started long ago, saying the Pope announced that he's coming to Cameroon. The power of God started shaking Cameroon. We are happy that the church is at the heart of it. We are happy that something wonderful is happening, extraordinary. The whole world will be focused, in Cameroon, and especially Douala on the 17th. So this is a turning point, a very special one.
As prayers rise from Douala, the faithful now await the Holy Father's arrival with renewed hope that his visit will ignite lasting faith, unity, and moral transformation across Cameroon.
And over to the northwest region, Bamenda enters its final stretch for preparations ahead of the Pope's highly anticipated visits, with works intensifying at the airport venue expected to host thousands of Christians, Catholics and non-Catholics alike. From liturgical spaces to roadworks and emergency response measures, authorities say the city is almost ready for what many described as a historic spiritual moment. Stella was at the airport in Bamenda and puts together this report for the news.
At the Bamenda airport, military engineers are now in the final phase of preparations. Work is advancing simultaneously on the papal altar, the Pope's sacristy and the dedicated sacristies for the cardinals and bishops, all central spaces for the liturgical ceremony expected to draw thousands. The airport grounds are already dressed in Cameroon's national colors and the yellow and white colors of the Vatican, transforming the venue into the image of a city preparing a historic spiritual event.
The coming of the Holy Father is like a new wind with the gospel of peace, the proclamation. We know there is going to be good fruits, which will bring a radical restoration, revival, and progress for our city and our nation.
Beyond the airport, the main access road is receiving fresh coats of tar and paint. Along key roads into Bamenda, banners and billboards welcoming the Pope now line the city's main arteries. While the transformation is visible, some sections around the airport still require more thorough environmental cleaning. Water containers have already been positioned both at the airport and at strategic points across town, while the Bamenda Regional Hospital has been mobilized to respond to any emergency. The pace of the roadworks has triggered debate on social media, with some users questioning the quality and durability of the new surfaces, but site engineers insist the work meets required standards.
Materials that will want to resist with time were properly studied, and I think that the structures are very solid and they will last as far as more than 25 years.
Among the 7 local councils that make up Mezam Division, the Bafut municipality is so far the only one to have publicly mounted banners declaring their readiness to welcome the Pope.
So as the council, we have equally come here to put our messages to tell the man of God that the Bafut community is receiving him with a lot of greatness and a lot of hope.
With security visibly reinforced and visitors already streaming into town, Bamenda is now in the final countdown to a papal visit many here see as both historic and deeply symbolic.
Thank you, Stella. And you know, Muslims and other Protestants are preparing or bracing up to welcome the Holy Father to Cameroon. The arrival of Pope Leo XIV to the country has been described by some heads of other religious groups as one of peace and an apostolic visit that will bring many changes to the country. The different religious leaders say the church is one and universal. Our reporter Manjikan Gabriel spoke with the moderator of the PCC, the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, the Right Reverend Mickey Hans Abia, the Imam of the Boya Central Mosque, and the Douala Field Pastor for the Cameroon Baptist Convention.
The Catholic community is not the only religious group expecting the arrival of the Holy Father to Cameroon. The Presbyterian, Baptist, Muslim, and other religious communities are all waiting for the Holy Father.
I want to say that I'm particularly very excited. The entire Presbyterian Church in Cameroon is very excited to welcome Pope Leo XIV to Cameroon. We believe it's an honor to our nation. The PCC has received an invitation to this effect, and I as moderator will lead about 20 other Presbyterians officially for the reception of this papal visit.
I will be representing the Muslim community for the North and Southwest to speak to the Pope regarding the issues, the plight of Cameroonian, the plight of the North and Southwest, particularly the Anglophone crisis. Why not about also interfaith challenges that we might have And up to now, we are very happy that we don't know these crises have not degenerated into a religious crisis.
As a minister of the Cameroon Baptist Convention, I will be joining the executive president in Bamenda, where our headquarters is, so that we welcome the Pope here in Cameroon. We will be there to welcome him and have audience with him right there at the cathedral.
According to the field pastor of the Council of Churches in Douala, the papal visit is an important one.
He is coming at a very strategic time in the political and social life of the nation of Cameroon. And knowing that we are just coming out of the presidential elections, whereby we had a lot of political unrest, his coming is timely to me, because I believe that a man with a moral standing, moral integrity like his own, should be the best person to see the world, even in our tense political atmosphere, even right now.
The church itself is one holy Catholic and Apostolic church, and we are all members of that church. The universal church, the church that the apostles left behind. So we are just one body. If the Pope is coming, his visit must actually melt down all our denominational barriers.
The arrival of Pope Leo XIV to these religious heads is one of expectation.
And we're hopeful that his coming is going to make meaning to Cameroonians, going to make meaning particularly to the North and Southwest delegation. And why not to our Muslim brothers and sisters who come to many the far north region, where the Boko Haram is ravaging our brothers and sisters there.
The Pope, in his message, he will certainly talk about peace and justice, contemporary issues. He will surely preach about love and Christian hope.
Pope Leo XIV will be in Cameroon for at least 4 days and is expected to meet with other church leaders during his audiences in Bamenda.
Thanks, Matt. Let's now take this health report before we move on to talking point. Access to healthcare in Cameroon seems to be really difficult. Members of the Cameroon Innovative Health Summit in Douala, they say they have used the opportunity to discuss on the importance of digital health technologies. As for me, Amtron Sanda tells us in this report.
Access to healthcare has always been one of the major preoccupations in Cameroon. The lack of adequate medical facilities has cost the lives of several people, especially in the rural areas.
Innovations in healthcare is centered around digitalization, utilizing AI, digital innovations, and other tech tools to make healthcare more accessible and more efficient.
The Cameroon medical system therefore comes to check these insufficiencies.
So many innovative projects like the recycling machine that was created by a team of mechanical engineers from the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, University of Boya.
Being able to get tested through digital interventions is one of the major preoccupations of the medical doctors present during the camp together.
Presently a data scientist, I'm a medical doctor, and I'm a global health physician. And presently I'm trying to gain more information about how data science can help reach this access to healthcare. Data science is all about using digital tools.
Digital medical interventions might be important, but not without its shortcomings.
Well, developing country has its issues: data, network, internet connectivity, with people not having phones, people not having devices, and all of that. But we can never minimize the effect of digitalization when it comes to building healthcare systems.
Access to healthcare is one of the fundamentals of life, but this privilege is denied several others in the rural parts of Cameroon.
Thanks for me, and we'll be coming back to what happened at Barombikang with the population that blocked the roads. That should be in subsequent news editions, but as at now, circulation is now fluid. Viewers, that does it for the first part of the news. Let's now move on to talking point. Welcome back, viewers. Our guest tonight is Reverend Father Michael TCHOUMBOU, he is the parish priest of the St. Louis Parish in Bonaberi, and he is one of the organizers. He is in the organizing committee to welcome the Pope in Cameroon, especially in the Archdiocese of Douala. Thank you so much, Father, for accepting to be our guest tonight. You have been with us all through today on Equinoxe Television. Like I mentioned a while ago, you are of the organizing committee in the Archdiocese of Douala, mobilizing millions of Christians, especially young people and even the elderly, to welcome the Holy Father to Cameroon. That would be in less than 24 hours. Now, tell us, like, in less than 24 hours, how prepared, how have you guys gone so far to welcome the Pope, and how are you implicated in the organization?
Very implicated. Like every priest in Douala at this moment, if there's one concern on our mind, it's about the coming of the Pope. Like every Christian in Douala, if there's one concern and where they should be, is how to get to Japoma. So that's how prepared we are. We are, when you say on your mark, get ready, we are at the point of get ready now. So everything is set. And for the church, the logistic preparation has been day in, day out. Up to the last moment, I think there are still little things to be touched here and there, but Douala is ready in that sense. The Archdiocese of Douala is ready. The population of Douala is ready.
Now, Father, you spoke about how to get to Japoma. We would want to know about that. We know that you're mobilizing millions of Christians who would want to have Mass, the Pontifical Mass. They want to attend the Pontifical Mass at the Japoma Stadium. How have you guys been mobilizing these Christians at the level of the parishes to get to Japoma?
You know, the church is very organized, based on the parishes, the zones, and that is where the preparation is taking place for mobilization. And I can put them in three categories. There are people who like to go there personally with their personal vehicles. The city council has made provision for parking, or people have made personal commitments to look for places around Japoma. Some people have even moved into hotels in Japoma. Hotels there are full right now. The second category is the group of young people. There's a papal caravan that's going to leave from different zones. These are people who see going to Japoma as a pilgrimage, meaning a spiritual journey. For example, in Vui 8, where I am, young people are going to walk from St. Louis Parish right up to Japoma. More than 20 kilometers, because it's a spiritual journey. We are going to meet the Pope, the Vicar of Christ, who will equally give us a message of hope. When you read the gospel, you see people running after Jesus, going around Galilee just to listen to him. It's a huge distance. We are going to do that. To listen to the Pope, young people are going to walk. They will leave Bonaberi on Thursday by 2 p.m. and by midnight we should reach Japoma. You know, we'll animate all night, we'll pray, we'll sing, we'll listen to teachings, then until we welcome the Pope in the morning and celebrate the Mass. Then the third category are elderly people who are not able to walk to Japoma. There are buses made available. All those, especially from the Bonaberi area, there's a bus stop in St. Joseph, another one at St. Louis, with 1,000 francs to and fro. You know, they pay their space on the bus that will shuttle them to Japoma and then bring them back at the end of the Mass. So all those opportunities have been made available to Christians so that no one stays behind. The most important is that all of us, like one church, should get up and go to Japoma to receive the Vicar of Christ.
Okay. Father, now let's talk about spiritual preparation a little more detailedly. Can you tell us how spiritually prepared your Christians, in short, the clergy, the church is to welcome the Pope, his presence and his visits to Cameroon?
The spiritual preparation is meant to put us in the mindset of the right mindset of this visit. It's a spiritual visit. It's not a folklore visit. Yesterday at the cathedral, Christians gathered around the Archbishop to pray for a successful visit, to commend it into God's hands. And before that even, you know, months ago, we started by praying within different parishes. As soon as we got wind of the coming of the Pope, prayer started. And then now the church prepared a particular prayer where at every Mass, at the end of Mass, Christians pray this together to commend this visit into God's hands, within the spirit of the visit. And as we draw closer, we're inviting Christians to go even further spiritually, to take this as a pilgrimage. When you're going out for a pilgrimage, the disposition is different. Pilgrimage means I'm going out to encounter God in a sacred space. So that preparation keeps getting intense and intense and intense, and will reach apex when the Pope arrives and celebrates that beautiful Mass in Chapuma.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reverend Father Michael TCHOUMBOU, for accepting to be our guest tonight, and hope to have you tomorrow. And viewers, that was what we put together for you on the news on Equinoxe television, especially in the English language. Our programs continue. Equinoxe Soir comes up at 7 p.m. and the news in the French language will be yours at 8 p.m. Stay with us on Equinoxe television. Bye-bye for now, and see you again tomorrow, same time, God willing.